On a quiet autumn evening in Hollywood, the studio lights of The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson glowed brighter than usual. The audience buzzed with excitement. That night's guest wasn't just a movie star. He was a legend. John Wayne, the towering symbol of courage in the American West, was walking onto the stage of Johnny Carson's show. But behind the confident walk and familiar cowboy smile, something felt different. Johnny greeted him warmly, as always. "Ladies and gentlemen," Johnny announced, smiling, "the Duke himself." The crowd erupted in applause. John Wayne tipped his head slightly, waved his hand, and sat down in the chair across from Johnny. For a moment, everything felt normal. Just another interview, another night, another legend telling stories. Johnny leaned forward with his usual playful tone. "So, Duke, how many horses did you ride just to get here tonight?" The audience laughed. Wayne smiled, but his eyes looked tired. "Well, Johnny," he said softly, "fewer every year." The laughter faded into gentle chuckles. Johnny noticed it immediately. Something in Wayne's voice carried weight, something heavier than humor. Johnny shifted the conversation. "You've played heroes your whole life," he said. "Men people looked up to. Ever get tired of carrying that responsibility?" Wayne paused. For the first time, the audience saw silence from the Duke. He looked down at his hands. Then he spoke quietly. "You know, Johnny, people think being a hero means you're strong all the time." The studio became still. "But sometimes," he continued, his voice slightly rough, "it just means you're good at hiding when you're not." A few people in the audience leaned forward in their seats. This wasn't the John Wayne they expected. This wasn't the fearless cowboy riding into sunsets. This was a man. Johnny nodded gently. "You've been through a lot these past years," he said carefully. Wayne gave a slow smile. "Yeah," he replied, "cancer teaches you things movies don't." The room fell completely silent. Wayne continued, speaking slowly, not like an actor delivering lines, but like a man telling the truth for the first time in a long while. "It teaches you how short life really is, teaches you what matters and what doesn't." He glanced toward the audience. "And it teaches you that the toughest fights aren't always on horseback." Someone in the audience quietly wiped their eyes. Johnny leaned closer, his voice softer now. "Were you scared?" Wayne chuckled faintly. "Of course I was," he admitted. "I just didn't want anyone else to be." That answer stayed in the air like a whisper. Johnny smiled gently. "That's why people love you, Duke." Wayne looked around the studio, at the lights, the cameras, the audience that had watched him for decades. "You know what I'm proudest of?" he asked. Johnny shook his head. "What's that?" Wayne's voice grew warm. "That folks believed in me." He paused. "Even when I wasn't sure I believed in myself." The audience began clapping softly, slowly at first, then louder, then stronger. Not the excited applause of celebrity admiration, but the kind people give when they recognize honesty. Johnny looked at him with deep respect. "You'll always be a hero to them," he said. Wayne smiled again, but this time there was emotion in it. "Maybe," he replied quietly, "but tonight I'm just glad to be here." The audience rose to their feet, clapping hands. Not for a cowboy, not for a movie star, but for a man who showed courage in a different way that night. As the applause filled the studio, Johnny reached over and gently shook Wayne's hand. And for a moment, just a moment, the legend of the West looked less like an icon and more like someone everyone understood, Cowboy Dizzy. Years later, people would still remember that interview. Not because John Wayne played a hero, but because he let the world see his heart, red,